Rightio guys, I'd like to welcome you all back to another Wise Choice Systems build, and this time it is build in the Aerocool Strike-X S7 Black Edition. It is a very nice case, full of a lot of different features, and we'll go through them. Now obviously at the top here, as you can see, you do have in fact the red power light here, so as soon as you turn it on, they do shine on. Now here you have your two USB 2.0, two USB 2.0, two USB 3.0 headphone mic jack, and then your three fan controllers. I'll just quickly turn this down. Now the fan that you're going to hear that is quite loud is actually the PWM fan that I've got on the Rad. It is a SataIII fan, and we'll go into that in a little bit more detail soon. Now in there you actually have your 2.5, 3.5 hot swap bay, so it suits both, which is always handy. And there's your 200mm top fan. Now I've taken the 140mm fan that was originally on the back of this case and placed it on top. Originally I was going to try and get a Rad up there or something like that, but didn't quite look good, nor did it go how I wanted it to go, so instead it ended up with a 140mm fan there, and as I said, it was originally the one that was at the back. And as you can hear, it is quite quiet. Now we'll crank these right up, and it's still not too bad, but it is quite cool, and we'll go through the temperatures in a little bit more. Now obviously you've got the Strike-X symbol just there, you have your HDD and power LED there. Obviously we are running a Blu-ray optical drive, and then you've got your all up, you can have 4 optical drives, or you can have fan controllers, whatever it is that you want in there. Bit of cooling option in there. It is vented and it is open here, but then it keeps going down to the front 200mm fan, and right down the bottom is the Aerocool symbol. Now this front 200mm fan is in fact filtered, and it does move quite a decent amount of air. Now on the side panel where you would generally have all your cable management and stuff like that, there is in fact, I'll see if I can get out of the light so you guys can see. Now you've got a vent here, so if you really wanted to, you could put a nice thin fan there and vent out the back. I didn't do it, I didn't seem to think it was necessary. I don't normally believe it is. And then obviously this is the side. Now as usual, that isn't actually screwed in because I'll be taking that off. So what I'll do now is I'll just quickly pause this, and then I'll bring the case around and we'll show you the back of the case, and I'll open it up. Alright, so we've got the side panel off, and I just thought I'd show you the fan that I've installed on the side here is actually a 180 by 180mm fan, and it is the Phobia 700 RPM, and it's got the red LED in it, as you can see. Now this moves an absolute butt ton of air. Did have to do a little bit of modification to actually get this to fit, and it was one that I had in stock lying around, so I threw it on. So I just used the rubber grommet mount to actually mount it so that it gives it that little bit of room, because obviously 180 is a bit of an odd size for the side, and it normally would be 200mm. But she's on there and she's stable and she moves a lot of air, so that's what was on the side panel. Now we'll move over here, and this is in fact the back. Now that's what I was saying about, where you could have another power supply. It was where I wanted to put a Rad, but the Rad didn't want to go there, so instead I just chucked the fan up the top, which we'll have a look on the inside a bit later. And just for a record, it is really easy to get that top panel off. Basically just those 2 screws there, and then it's just like taking a front bezel off. You just squeeze the little holder things and it pops out. Now this is the back of the Rad. Well, obviously the Rad's on the other side. Back of the Mobo. I am running 2 graphics cards, and I am in fact running 2 of the Asus HD 6970s, and then right there is in fact the Sound Blaster Recon 3D Fatality sound card, and then it goes down into your power supply down there. And obviously, sorry, you do have quite a fair bit of water cooling option on this case as well, like for all the piping and stuff. Now on to the fun part, the insides. So there's that 140mm fan that I was talking about, which was originally where this Rad was. Now this Rad is now running a SataIII fan. It is running a PWM fan. I will actually grab the case for that in a second and show you what fan it is and everything like that. And obviously we are running the Thermaltake Bigwater A90 closed loop system. I was going to install just a Bigwater the 760 plus, but I kind of didn't think it would look good in this case, like with a big Thermaltake and stuff at the front, and so I decided not to. Now it is also running the Kingston HyperX RAM. It is running 16 gig, and here is where you connect all your fans. As I said, if you saw the review, you can actually put 18 fans, so there is actually quite a lot. And there's another one just down here, so there is actually quite a lot of fan options that you can put in here to keep it cool. But obviously we've only got the two 200mm, 140 140mm down the bottom here, and that is in fact a SATA SM1425SL 12M, and I believe that's the 1900, but I'll get the box for that as well a little bit later. And there's the SATA symbol just there. We are running, this time we're running a different power supply. We are running the Thermaltake 1000 watt 80 plus silver power supply, because they were out of stock of the X-Strike ones that I had. And if I can, I'm going to turn the camera a bit here, so just to try and get you guys in there. It's probably not a good idea actually, so let's see if I can get you in there though. Maybe I can't. Yeah, it doesn't look like I can without sort of making you guys all sick and everything like that. Oh, there we go, look at that. So that is the panel for the sound blaster, and as you can see, now you can't really see it because that light that's just there, but there's the sound core and stuff like that. So that's the that's actually what the Recon 3D sound card looks like. At the back you plug in the front audio and everything like that. Now this is the one thing I didn't like, and I originally wasn't going to run dual cards, mainly because of that. There is no gap. However, I am going to water cool it, but however, due to the flow of this case and everything, I thought we'll give it a go, and they actually don't hold heat, so they are actually staying quite cool. But in generally, it isn't what I would recommend. I would generally recommend maybe dropping it down, or in any other case, I'd generally run an ATX instead of just an ATX, so get an extended board so that you get that extra room between it. But look, the temperatures are still the same as if I was running one, so there is no difference. There's an absolute butt ton of airflow through this, so it's not too bad. And when I do water cool it, I will also show you guys that as well. Now what else is there? So yeah, it is running obviously the motherboard that we're running is the Gigabyte 990FXA UD5, and it does in fact have the AMD FX chipset in it, the CPU, and it is the 8150. And as I said, it's the HD 6970 is the graphics cards that we're running in there. So that's what she looks like, but that's not all. Over here, these are obviously the hard drive bays that we're about to look at now. Now I'm gonna have to be careful because I obviously don't want to, I think I left enough room, but just in there, okay, I'm not going to put that out any further, but anyway, just in there you've got your SSD, and then here, I don't think we can see it, but anyway, I'm actually, I wonder if I get you from underneath. You can't really see it too much, but I'll show you the packaging for this one as well. We are running SataIII HDD coolers, so it goes in here. I have the OCZ Vertex 3 120 gig SSD, then goes hard drive cooler. It then goes into the Seagate Barracuda 1TB hard drive cooler, Seagate Barracuda 1TB hard drive cooler. That's the hard drive setup in this case. As you can see, there's plenty of room here, so if you wanted to, you know, just fill the case with fans, you could, because there are mounting holes there, so you can actually put fans on this side. So you could have the standard 200mm on one side and then go straight through and chuck another 200mm just because you can. No real need for it though, but you could. The racks are not turnable, and you can, in fact, and I'll see if I can get a light on. I might actually do this just because I can. Where are we? There. It's got these points here, so you can actually mount fans there as well. So, and there's one just down here. So you can actually mount fans on the side of the HDD rack as well, and that's something that I might actually look at doing just because I can. So anyway guys, this has been a quite a fun build. I actually liked building in this case. The only thing I didn't like was this big hole here, but obviously if you ran an ATX then it would come out here, like it would come out quite a fair bit further, so it would cover that hole, so it would play its benefit there. But all in all, I wouldn't mind seeing it maybe a bit split or something like that, but I guess, you know, beggars can't be choosers, as they say. But as for everything else, like as you can see, there is just so much options for cable management in this case that it is astronomical. It is really good for cable management. On the other side, I don't know if you saw the review, but there is in fact quite a fair bit of cable tying options and stuff like that. So anyway guys, that has been my AMD 8150 dual 6970 2 gig DDR5 graphic card closed loop water cooled system. It is possibly going to end up my system depending on how it performs, but so far that is another thing. So far it is overclocked to 4.8. I'm going to try and push it to 5.2. It's overclocked to 4.8, and in fact I'll go over here and I'll turn this screen on because it is actually currently running. Get this stuff out of the way. Asus. Now I'm not expecting this to show. Yeah, I'm installing WoW to sort of see how it goes and stuff like that, but at idle it's only at 20 degrees. I don't know if I can get you guys in there to sort of, I need to sort of work out the glare, but yeah, it's only hovering around 19 to 20 degrees. In fact, if I actually go over here and I open up, don't tell me, I can't find it now, but okay, but yeah, so there we go. Anyway, so the max temperature that this has hit has been 35 degrees. When I bench tested it using 3D Mark, Nova Bench, what else did I use? It was Nova Bench, 3D Mark, and the Vantage one. There was a couple that I used. It actually only got to 50 degrees. So it is quite a it is actually quite cool. I was a bit sort of, I don't know how that's going to perform. Like the closed loop system, it's not really the most expensive. I wanted the Antec Cooler 90, but look, I have to say that this does perform phenomenally well. Now what I'll do before I do forget as well is I'll quickly grab the fan cases so I can show you what model scythes I've actually thrown in there. And this one here that I'm unwrapping now for you guys is this one here, is the HDD cooler. So there we go. It is the ITA Ks, and it's 12mm and 100mm, and it's 15.23 CFM. So yeah, so that's what they call it. Sorry, that's the HDD cooler I put in. This one here is the bottom fan that I've got in there, the 140mm fan. It's 1200 RPM. My apologies guys, I think I said it was a bit higher before, but it's 1200 RPM, and it's not that loud. It's 65.2 CFM. So there's that one, and then there is the PWM fan that, oops, sorry guys, that I'm running, which is this one here. This is the PWM fan, and that is the KINGSTON, and it is 1300 RPM and 74.25 CFM, and that's the one that's on the back of the rad. So basically everything that's here. Oh, and this is one more thing with the Sound Blaster card. You actually get this stereo stereo microphone thing as well. So I just thought I'd show you that. So everything that's there is in this case. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. This has been another Wise Choice Systems build. I hope you enjoy it.